All right, so we'll just settle in through our hips and breathe. Take a really big breath in and a really big breath out. Settle into your body. Feel free to lie down at the beginning of class here. And simply watch and let the breath flow. Big breaths in and out. Lift your heart towards the ceiling and drop your shoulders down the back. Welcome yourself to your space here, wherever you are. Welcome yourself to your practice. And maybe enjoying some lovely ambiance outside of a summer storm. Just noticing the peace and quiet in whatever space you've created for yourself. If you would like to count your breath, this is always a really good technique, I think, to creating a nice and steady and rhythmic breath. 5 seconds is a good rule to go by. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. And maybe as you sit with your breath throughout the next hour, you can even extend your breath to a longer length. So maybe playing around with some counting of the breath today, or taking it extra simple and easy on yourself. Whatever floats your boat today. Filling up the body completely with breath and then emptying it completely as well. Let go of mundane thoughts, silly distractions. Have them and then sweep them away. Give yourself time to do that, of course. And as we sit and become more comfortable, we can dive into this meditation for a few more moments. As we begin to let go of distractions in the mind, we can begin to focus our mind down a positive pathway, establishing a positive intention for yourself. What goals are you working on? What healing are you working on? See if you can set your mind down a pathway and stay on that pathway throughout class. Let's take 5 or 7 more big cleansing breaths here. I'm gonna Om. You can join me if you want, or just listen, bringing the hands to prayer and really sealing in whatever positive intention you've got going on today. Big breath in. Gently releasing your hands into your lap. And we'll introduce some movement into the body by opening and closing our fingers a few times, clenching gently, rotating the wrists. And then we'll rotate through our shoulders. So I like to grab onto my shoulders with my hands and kind of do a rowing. But if there's something else that's working for you today, by all means, going both directions. Release your arms, let them get nice and heavy in your lap. Feel that elbow directly below the shoulder. Lift your heart space really high. So if you're lying down, sit up, sorry. And we'll just introduce movement through the neck. So you can kind of tick-tock from side to side, back and forth. And then if it's advantageous for you today, maybe even drawing really big circles with the head, or maybe small circles. So just waking up our upper body here. And we'll find a still neutral spine and chin. And we're just gonna open and close our eyes a few times, maybe find a spot to stare at first. Kind of blinking intensely, squeezing those eyelids shut. And then we'll look around in big circles with our eyeballs. We do strange things in our yoga practices. All right, and then last thing, my favorite, open and close the jaw. Get out all of that tension in the jaw. I don't know about you, but I hold a lot of tension in my jaw. Just seeing if we can kind of let go. You might hear some of that cartilage, some of that connective tissue. That's totally normal. All righty. Let's extend our legs out in front of us. We will wiggle our toes, wiggle the toes, rotate the ankles. And then we'll hug a leg up and in and just like open and close that leg door, getting that hip woken up. All right, other leg, hug the other leg in and open and close the leg door. Awesome, friends. Okay, let's make our way into a child's pose. We're gonna take a lovely supportive child's pose. I'm gonna go grab my water. I will be right back. I like to rest my forehead on stacked palms, at least at first. And we'll just settle into our child's pose. Enjoy the relief that this might be providing our spine. We hold a lot of weight on our shoulders through the day. Let the floor take on some of this burden. Let the spine lengthen. Okay, we'll hold this for maybe 5 to 7 more nice, big, long breaths. All right, when you're ready, come into tabletop. And I always use my blanket under my knees, but come to tabletop. We'll loosen up our spine a little bit before we get into our slow flow. So introducing some cat-cows. Inhaling, chin up, belly down. Exhaling, chin down, belly up. And we can always do a little bit of a banana, C-shape, half moon, alternating cat-cow. So cat-cow on the horizontal plane, gazing over the shoulder, looking at the hip, gazing over the other shoulder, looking at the hip, kind of a swish, swish. Very technical terms. And maybe coming back to the cat-cow. Nice breathing. All right, find a nice and neutral spine, somewhere in the middle of all of that. Lift your belly button high towards the ceiling. Open up your hands really wide. Fingers are open, thumbs are working to point towards one another one day, right? And then the inner elbow rotates forward. By rotating the inner elbow forward, we draw our shoulders further away from the ears. Nice, strong tabletop. All right, we're going to take our first down dog. We'll hold it for 5 breaths or however long you want. And then we'll take a child's pose. So starting off slow, of course. Big down dog. Take nice big cleansing breaths. Maybe bending one knee and then the other knee. Maybe rising up and down on the tippy toes. And then taking an awesome child's pose when you're ready. Taking a bow. Relaxing the arms, the wrists, the fingers. Catch your breath. Come back to the present moment. And you can do knees together or knees apart. I have my knees together now. All right, friends, whenever you're ready, back to our downward facing dog. Take your time. Press the shoulders towards the kneecaps, lift the belly button high, and we're going to step our right foot forward. Squeeze that right knee, hug it in, step that foot forward, drop the back left knee, and sink into a nice low lunge. You can keep those curls toes under behind you or release the toes. So big stretch through the front of the left hip crease. And you can keep your hands on the floor or you can walk them up to that front knee. Whatever floats your boat today. Big stretch. All right, now we're going to pull our hips back, straighten the front knee, and take a really big stretch of the back of the right leg now for runner's stretch. If you have blocks or like an ottoman or something to raise the floor up, that might be helpful here. We're pretty far away from the floor, but hopefully we can feel safe and sturdy here. Big breath in and out. Okay, we're going to take our right foot back to the floor, bend the right knee, sink back into our low lunge, and walk both your hands inside that right leg. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then draw the left heel down. Voila, we are going to reach up for warrior 2. So I like to keep pushing my right knee back as I come up. It's actually a hip opener. So my right knee is tracking back behind me and my glutes are squeezing and I get this awesome hip opener in. All the way up to warrior two. You can introduce those warrior two arms if you would like, if you're up for it. Taking a nice deep bend. Okay, and then we're gonna tip back, keep the back leg straight, hand to the hip crease, reach that right arm back behind you. Awesome. And then right elbow to right knee, reach the left arm forward, side stretch, each side. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay, from here, we're going to come back to warrior two, back to neutral. And we're gonna cartwheel the arms down. You can twirl that left heel back up, get support, high lunge, and then step back, downward facing dog. Awesome, that's gonna be our nice little sequence we do on the other leg. So take a breath here in down dog. Inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, slowly lower, hit the deck. Inhale, lift your heart up nice and high. Cobra, elbows tuck in towards the body. And child's pose. Yay, take a break. We'll definitely be able to catch our breath between all of these sequences. Take a moment for yourself to kind of gather some strength, gather support, whatever version of child's pose feels best and safest to you. All right, whenever you're ready, back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Belly up, shoulders pressing towards the feet or the knees. And we'll step the left foot forward this time. Tuck that knee up and in, plant the foot, and then drop the back right knee this time. Sink into that right front hip crease for a low lunge. You can keep the toes curled under behind you or flat. And then if you so choose, maybe taking your hands up to the front knee. Really big stretch. Big breath in and out. All right, we're gonna pull the hips back, straighten the front leg, hinge over the front leg, and find support. Runner's stretch. A few more breaths, 3 more. We really want a nice long spine here, so if you feel like a rounding collapsing, see if you can reach that chin and heart forward, the front of the neck. All right, bend that front knee, stamp the foot down, come back to low lunge, and then take both your hands inside that front leg. This is where we lift up for warrior two. Lift the back knee, twirl the right heel down, and then keep pushing that left knee back behind you. I like to use my left hand. And then we come into warrior two. So again, thighs are expanding and opening. The glutes are actually squeezing together. And we're in a hip opener. We can introduce those warrior two arms. And then we'll take our right hand to the hip, bend backwards. Keep the front knee bent, the back leg straight. And then we'll tip the other way for a nice side stretch. And back to warrior two. Neutral spine, heart lifted. And from here, we cartwheel the arms down, twirl the back heel up, and step back, downward facing dog. Nice job, beautiful. Take a breather in down dog. Whenever you need child's pose, please take it. It's my favorite pose. You can't do it enough. All right, inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, hit the deck. That's just a push out to the floor. Inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, child's pose. Knees apart or together, whatever works. I'm getting all of the cricks and cracks out right now. So hopefully we are opening up those pathways, finding some space in our body, letting the breath flow. All right, back to downward facing dog. Open fingers, lift the hips up and back. Belly button lifts. And we'll step forward to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Lift that heart really far forward. So it's a long spine. Slightly bend those knees and then hinge over the legs for a beautiful forward fold, Uttanasana. Let the head and arms be nice and heavy. You can shake the head, yes and no. Maybe grab opposite elbows. We'll stay for a few more breaths here. All right, we're gonna take a nice chair pose. Squat down, bend the knees, reach the arms up, chair pose, and of course we can hold this for as little or as long as you want. We'll take a nice good chair, belly pulls back. 3, 2, 1, exhale, stand up nice and tall. Mountain, awesome. Take a moment to adjust to being upright. Let the breath flow in and out. From here, we're going to hug one leg up and in. So stand nice and tall. I'm going to stand on my left foot, find all four corners, micro bend in that knee, and then just hug that knee up and in. Give it a nice, good squeeze. See if you can lift it nice and high. And you can rotate that ankle. And then we're going to take that ankle and place it on the thigh of the opposite leg. It's like a figure 4. And then we're going to take a little baby squat. You can take your forearms to the shin, hands in prayer. So a nice little balancing pose, stretching our outer hip. And then the hard part here, I think, is coming out of it. We're going to try to lift our knee back up into the chest. Try your best. Keep it steady. And then lift that knee back up and in. Awesome. Great job. Take it down. Shake it out. Sway those hips and arms. Sometimes doing things like that can be frustrating. Shake it off. Try not to hit anything. All right, we'll do the other leg. So lifting our other leg up and in, hug the knee, give it a squeeze. Rotate that ankle. And then we'll take our ankle across the thigh And take a little squat, a little bow. Maybe we just use our hands. I should have said that before. If that other squat feels a little bit too deep. Or we can take the elbows, the forearms to the shin, hands in prayer. And then coming out of it, see if you can gain that control, hug that knee back up and in. Tall heart, beautiful. And take it down, shake it out. So I like to do the washing machine with my arms. Letting those hands kind of slap at the hips. Okay. And then we'll take our arms behind us, interlace those fingers, and we're just going to sort of lean back, look up, and push the hands away for a really big heart opener. Maybe we even take our head from side to side. Exhale, let go, shake it out. Big breath in and out. And then we're going to sweep the arms up, look up, upward salute. Exhale the hands down, touch the floor, forward fold. Take a moment and forward fold. Let the head be heavy. Cooling off, hopefully. I know it's really hot. Inhale, lift the heart up halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Take your time getting there. Beautiful. We'll slow things down a little bit now. Hopefully cooling off from here on out throughout class. Lifting that belly button nice and high. We're going to take our left heel up nice and high, three-legged dog, big stretch, and then we'll take pigeon. So I should say, actually, you could pull a blanket up towards those hands if you want a little cushion. And we'll just hug that knee up and in, and then drop our hip for pigeon pose. Gaze back behind you. Make sure that leg is nice and straight behind you. You can slide something underneath your hip if you don't feel supported, or you can simply sit down on that hip and rest on the floor. Yeah, that looks good, Linda. And then whenever you're ready, just take a fold forward. So I like to come into pigeon from down dog, but you can always get into it from whatever feels safest to you. And you'll just take your head towards the floor. If the floor feels far away, you can use your forearms. And simply let the breath flow as we melt and let go here. Slowing things down even more so. We'll stay a little bit longer, continue to let the breath flow, letting go of effort, letting go of trying. We're entering the really restful phases of class. Okay, we're going to take 5 to 7 more nice, deep, long breaths. Maybe you're still counting your breath. Maybe it's able to be held a little bit longer on the inhale and the exhale. All right, we'll come out of it now, slowly lifting our head, our heart, pressing the floor away from you. And then we're gonna sit down on that left hip. So sit down completely and swing the back leg all the way forward. Pause when it's directly in front of you. Find both hips rooted firmly into the floor or your blanket. Find a lifted heart space. And we're gonna take a twist towards the lifted knee. So wrap your opposite arm around opposite leg, left arm to right leg, hand behind you, gaze over the shoulder. Take 3 more breaths, enjoying this nice upright twist. Inhale back to center. And we can take a little baby twist the other way, just to open up that space, heart space. Awesome. All right, from here, we'll come back to a down dog, or however you want to get into your pigeon pose. I have my blanket up at the front of my mat near my hands. And I'm going to take a down dog, lifting my hips nice and high. Belly lifts up, and then the right heel lifts this time. And maybe we're coming in it from tabletop or from seated, whatever works. And when you're ready, hug that knee up and in, and then drop all the way down onto that leg, settling into the hip. You can have your hips both facing forward, or if this is really intense, you can simply sit on that right hip and take a little bit of a modified pigeon. We can call it like a lazy pigeon. No ill intentions there. Lazy is totally good. And gaze back at that back leg, make sure it's nice and straight. And whenever you're ready, just take it all the way to the floor. Pillows are a great idea in postures like this. I like to stack my forearms and then rest my head on my forearms. But hopefully we can really find rest and sustainability here. Big breath in and out, nice and cleansing. Let yourself melt and get a little bit heavier. We'll stay for 5 to 7 more breaths. And when you're ready, we'll lift our heart up, lift our chest, and then sit down onto that right hip, the front hip. Really sit down on it and swing the back leg forward. Stop when it's directly in front of you. Find a nice tall heart here. Root both hips down on the floor. We really want to be on a level plane here. And then we're going to twist towards the lifted knee, opposite hand to opposite knee. Gaze back behind you. Hold for a few breaths. Inhale to center. And we'll take a little derotation the other way. Inhale back to center, beautiful. All right, last seated posture, we'll take bound angle. So I definitely would recommend sitting up on a blanket, soles of the feet to come together, knees apart. And then I like to bounce my knees a little bit for a few breaths, just to kind of loosen up the hip flexors and really ground and anchor yourself. Maybe even, a rocking can be really nice. And then grabbing onto the ankles, lift your heart. See if you can find a bit of an arch actually in the back. And then lead with your heart as you hinge over the hips and take a fold. So we do want to try and maintain a long spine. And then as you stay for a few more breaths, maybe you let the shoulders melt. Maybe you let the head melt. And we can definitely collapse a little bit. But if you have the energy and if you're so inclined, feel free to just keep and maintain that long spine. Our bodies are all different, but for anyone with osteoporosis or scoliosis, doing something like this might be better for us. But if this feels amazing to you, by all means, go for it. It feels good to me, but I know I should really be doing it this way, so. Nice cleansing breaths. We'll hold for 5 to 7 more nice long breaths. Really let yourself just be in this posture. It's a great posture to practice surrendering and living in the present. So just connecting with the here and now, the gift that is the present, uniting body, mind, and soul. And then we're just going to slowly roll on up, lift ourselves back out with the head. Last, find a tall spine. I like to grab onto the fronts of my shins and just kind of lean back, look up one time here. Switching out the front of the neck, the shoulders, maybe even rock the head from side to side. All right, awesome job. Bring the knees up and we can make our way down onto our back. Get comfy. I'll use a blanket underneath my head. Take your feet to the floor, knees up, and pick your hips up. Pick those hips up, let them hover off the floor, and then scoop that tailbone underneath you, place it back down. So we're trying to connect our sacrum and the low back completely, and then wiggle your shoulders further away from your hips Draw the chin in towards the throat. So we're connecting the surface area of our back to the floor, and we're lengthening our spine. Enjoy the support of the floor here. Notice how it might help the breath. And then just letting the breath flow in and out. Cooling off. Take your arms and reach them up overhead. Bend the elbows and let them drop onto the floor. So we're letting our arms hang out. You might need to walk those shoulder blades further underneath you, and then the arms might be able to melt a little bit more that way. And we can engage in this lovely heart opener for a few more breaths. And if you would like to introduce movement through the legs, you can take your feet wide and then drop your knees one way and then the other way a few times. This is a great little rocking motion to help massage our low back and our glutes. And then maybe we keep the knees in and the feet out for a few breaths. Arms restful on the floor. And we'll hold this for 5 more breaths, maintaining this heart opener. Big inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, hug both knees into your chest. Give those legs a squeeze, rock from side to side. And then we can take happy baby, grabbing the outside edges of the feet and trying to pull those knees to the floor next to you. The feet push, the hands pull. Keep the shoulders and the hips rooted in the torso. Don't get carried away. Stay grounded. All right, and then we can loosen this up. Take any last minute poses, gestures, movements you want to take or make before Shavasana. Maybe you want to just extend the legs straight up towards the ceiling and rotate the ankles. And just start setting up for your Shavasana. But once again, just taking your time to do that, taking any movements that you want. And setting up for comfort. So if you gotta put a fan on to be comfortable, or just doing anything so you can really melt into this last posture. You can get cooled off a little bit outside with the rain, so hopefully we can get a nice cool breeze. And so entering Shavasana, we're just gonna find some deep awareness of our body and the space we are in. If you want your eyes to be open for a moment here, just kind of take note of what's going on in your space, what colors are in your space, what sounds are in your space. And then as you feel more comfortable here, go ahead and close your eyes. Let the skin of your face be nice and soft. And we'll do some yoga nidra. I have time to go through the whole practice. And we're going to basically go on a journey and send our awareness through different areas of the body. Do your best not to move or touch, but to just simply sense these different areas of the body. And as you sense the areas of the body, see if you can relax these areas. We'll start with our right hand thumb. Relax that thumb. Relax it completely. Now the right second finger, the right third finger, the right fourth finger, and the right fifth finger. Relax the palm of the hand and the back of the hand. Relax the wrist and the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm, the right shoulder, the right armpit, the right waist, the right hip, the right thigh, the right knee, the right calf, the right ankle. Relax the heel of the foot, the sole of the foot, the top of the foot. Relax the right big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the fifth toe. Journey now to the left hand thumb and relax it. Relax the second finger, the third finger, the fourth finger, and the fifth finger. Relax the palm of the left hand, the back of the hand, the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm, the left shoulder, the left armpit, the left waist, the left hip, the left thigh, the left knee, the left calf, the ankle. Relax the heel of the left foot, the sole of the foot, the top of the foot, the left big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the fifth toe. Bring your awareness to the back of the body now. Notice where your body is touching the floor. Relax the right heel and the left heel, the right calf and the left calf, the right thigh and the left thigh, the right buttock and the left buttock, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back, the entire spine, the right shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade, the back of the neck, and the back of the head. Sense and relax the top of the head, your forehead, the right temple, the left temple, the right ear and the left ear, the right eyebrow and the left eyebrow, the middle of the eyebrows, the right eye, the left eye, the right nostril, the left nostril, the right cheek and the left cheek, the upper lip and the lower lip, both lips together. Relax the chin, the jaw, the throat, the right collarbone and the left collarbone, the right side of the chest and the left side of the chest, the upper abdomen, the navel, the lower abdomen, the right groin, the left groin, and the pelvic floor. Relax now completely the whole right leg, the whole left leg, the whole right arm, the whole left arm. Relax your whole face, the whole head, the whole torso. Relax your whole body. Relax completely the whole body. Relax your entire body. Enjoy this peace and calmness for a few more minutes as you slip deeply into this restful Shavasana, this wonderful meditative state. Letting your body rest completely. Letting go of the distracted mind and letting your alert, conscious wisdom be awake. Let the breath flow in and out peacefully and naturally. And simply let yourself float. And get dense and heavy as you melt into the floor and then float and be light where your skin touches the air. Begin to deepen your breath. Introduce some subtle movements into the fingers and the toes and the head. Take a really cleansing breath in and out. And come to the sleeping position, rolling to the right side of your body, resting your head on your arm like a pillow. Whatever lovely feelings you're having, hold them close to your heart, remember them. And we'll make our way into a seated posture. I do recommend sitting on blankets. And try and find a tall spine. So root through those seat bones. See if you can find both points underneath you and reach that crown of the head upwards. So we want to close class feeling nice and optimal and tall and strong. Come back to whatever positive intentions you set, whatever pathway you made for yourself, coming back to that pathway. And maybe we strayed from it, and that's totally normal and fine. And maybe we stayed on our path. If so, good for you. We'll bring our hands to our heart in prayer. You can join me in an Om or just listen. Big breath in. Bowing our heads in gratitude and honor. Namaste.